All right, so this guy says Fanum breaks down while streaming as fuck. Now let's see what he talking about.
Fanum came back and he gave a take. We talked about him previously when he talked about the situation with streaming this year, and he gave another update. And I do think there's a lot of insight that we can get into here, and from trends that I've seen that have happened already. So I'm gonna play you guys the clip first, and then I'm gonna give you some examples.
And by the way, I think streaming right now, I can't want to say nothing because everything, like, I feel like I be saying and then just get twisted. But I feel like it's so much going on that it almost feel like nothing going on. In a weird way. I don't know explain it, bro. I have a bad way with certain things. I just know like it's the feeling that I'm trying to portray. But whatever.
So much going on that nothing going on.
Everybody trying to do everything. You feel me? And I'm not trying to be like nobody. I'm trying to make sure I be like myself.
So I agree with him completely here, and I'll give you an example. When he talks about like it's part of it is overstimulated, where you're like, yo, there's a phase subathon that's going to be happening, and then there's also Kai Cenat Mafia-thon, and then there's all of these big events, and Speed's doing his USA tour, and it feels like these things are not as hyped as the European tour or the Asia tour.
What European
and I don't know
tour?
if it's
The
because
Speed
people are
European
seeing it
tour?
more often, but I know you guys feel it too. Like you see the clips, but it feels like
Did he just say
Another
that
wildly
only?
busy Wednesday.
Wait, he said three
You need
different
something
people,
fast
but he only
and
said
delicious. And
what the
dude,
hell?
like you see the clips,
Three different
but
people,
it
but you
feels
only
like
said as hyped as
it's a
Speed's
custom
European
now,
tour.
where
What the hell?
the clips are being posted because that's what the clip pages are supposed to do, versus people excited to clip it, and then people are excited to reply. Now it's just like, oh yeah, he's doing that thing that he's supposed to do. Same thing with Kai Cenat. Oh yeah, he's doing that thing he's supposed to do. Because the rate that he's gaining subs, like it doesn't have that hit that it once did. And with Fanum is somebody that has always been
He
himself.
just made this video. How's he like? How's he saying it in hindsight when the like
AMP house? He saw him
the
streaming.
speed
He saw the
marathon is
potential that he
over
had,
and
and he
the
said, "Yo, get out
mafia-thon
of your
over, and
dingy
he's still
apartment
saying it like
in
it
the Bronx
hasn't even
with your
happened yet."
family and come here in Atlanta. I'm gonna house you, and you're gonna grind it out." And now the guy's the biggest streaming star in America. So Fanum knows a thing or two, more than a thing or two. But I'll give you guys another example, which is
Oh, he
this
showed
guy
the
Lacey.
clip,
So
but he's
FaZe
still saying it
Lacey,
like
he gives his take on
what the
why
hell?
streaming is going downhill, and I'm gonna play you guys that right now.
Let's talk real for a sec. The standard for streaming is all the way up here. If you go live and you don't have anything planned and you just want to sit at your desk and talk to the chat and just relax, kick back, vibe with your stream, all people say is L content. Go IRL, go do this. No content. Didn't plan anything.
I mean, they
today.
probably do.
Never plan. No content.
But I think that's just for a
Why
big
did it
streamer,
turn into
because
that?
like if you watch like a smaller
That's- I
streamer like with
genuinely feel
100,
like
nobody
that's why
really wants them
streamers
to
are
sit
taking
there and play a
breaks.
game.
Look
They
at
just
Ron
want
taking
them
a
to talk
break.
to the chat.
Marlon just did a stream for a week because I feel like for some reason the way streaming has become, if there's nothing big planned or no big event, people don't want to stream because the chat expects and has this standard of you got to do that. I think we should go back to the days where you could literally spark up at 8 p.m. if you wanted to, and the chat is happy and people are happy. How nice life was, bro. Why are y'all saying, oh? I go live, right? And
But
I'll
everybody
end my
want to
stream
go
off for the
back to
last
back
4
in the
hours and
day
just
of
talking to the
everything.
chat, playing the game.
Everybody's
And
like,
then
back
I
in
look
the
over
day,
at the
this
chat
was
and I
better.
see,
Back in the day, that was better.
L
This shit just is what
bro
it is
didn't
now.
plan anything today. Go do something. Why are you just sitting here? I look over, I see chat not moving. View bot. This guy's botting.
This is a very, very good point. And it's not that history repeats itself. It's that there's really nothing new under the sun, and people rehash things often, but trends. So right now, huge events,
Well, the newest
budgets,
thing that
production,
came out
like
was Streaming
remember, like
University.
DDG,
Everything
Are You
else
My
been
Ball,
done
that
already.
happened. There was a huge
Yeah, the
production.
Are You
into
My
that show.
Ball.
In Too Deep, Black Boy
But
Max, there's
even
a huge
then,
production. It's almost like TV. It's like Love Island.
the Are
And
You
then
My
you've got
Ball was
Mafia-thon.
literally
that costs a ton of money.
just from
And
Streaming
you've got
University.
Speed's tour. This guy's got a
Black
bus.
Boy
and
Max
it's
thing,
like
it was
theatric.
literally
It's like the
just
first time
because Love
you
Island
saw drone footage.
became
You
like
remember
popular.
when vlogs were going on YouTube and you saw Casey Neistat drone footage, and you saw I think it was Jesse Wellen who was the first one that was using the drones. But you saw drone footage, you were like, whoa, just any footage of aerial from a drone in a vlog, you were like, this is crazy. But after a while, after a bunch of other vloggers start using it, you're like, okay, here we go, another drone shot. And now it's really nothing special. It's not.
Yeah, I don't
it
really
doesn't
care
have
for
that
the drone
novelty,
footage.
I guess you could say.
Plus,
Same thing
like,
with
it's not
Mr.
the
Beast.
first time
When
you've
Mr.
seen
Beast
drone
first got
footage.
into the
Like,
game,
when
throwing in these
drones
crazy budgets
been
on
able
these
to do
huge
that for a
videos,
long time now.
it was wild. People were like, "Whoa, I've never seen something
Like, it didn't
this.
take
This
them
is
long
insane."
to just put a
And
camera
giving
on a
away
drone.
this much money, and then you had other people copying him, following the meta. So you had people like Eric, you had like people like Tyler Oliveira.
Why are you saying Eric was
genre
copying Mr.
called the
Beast?
Mr.
Eric doesn't even like
Beastification
give
of
money
YouTube.
out. Eric
And
just
people got numb to
hiding
it.
people's
And even
streams
Mr.
mostly.
Beast has confirmed, I think today the news came out, that he confirmed that he's slowing down his videos. He's not
But
doing
there
the long,
is like a
loud stuff
guy
anymore.
that
He's not
like
doing the fast-paced stuff. He's
literally
slowing it
copies
down.
Mr. Beast.
He's
I don't
making
know
it
his
more
name though.
story-based,
But
and he's pivoting away from what he was doing. And that's because people got numb to it. They're like, okay, another one of these. And I think that's the same thing that's happening.
Well, that's
with
not
streaming,
true. He
because
just posted a
there was
video
the
the way he always
Beastification of
posts
YouTube,
it.
which was, oh, you got to maximize retention, and you got to cut out any pauses, and you got to make sure that the person's just spazzing out like a Logan
Yeah, I
Paul
don't really
vlog.
edit because
And then at the
then
peak
you
of
miss
that
what
era
even
of
happened.
YouTube,
You don't get
what
wild
happened?
like
We got
when I made
a
100 3-point
superstar
shots. You don't
on YouTube
get
that blew up,
how
that was
long
getting
that actually took.
disgusting
You don't
views compared
get
to
what
everybody
happened.
else,
You don't get
and
why
that
it
was
took
Sam
so
Sulek.
long.
And Sam Sulek was just
Who's
a
this?
bodybuilder that was really calm.
He a small
Wasn't
looking bodybuilder.
loud,
Oh, never mind.
Wasn't screaming, not even.
I was gonna say, it's the smallest bodybuilder I've seen. He look like a regular size human.
Wasn't loud, wasn't screaming, not even like
Is he drinking orange juice?
the era of bodybuilders that were like hawking cigs or chilling with chicks, right? Like the stimulus, like what era was that? I'm forgetting his name. He's unfortunately, I think he's getting heart failure right now.
Damn.
Skywalker, yeah.
Hope that guy's okay.
Skywalker, you guys know who I'm talking about. If you know, you know. But there was like that high energy stuff, and Sam Sulek wasn't even that. He was just calm, driving to the gym, talking, doing his workout, and he blew up. And people didn't quite understand it. He wasn't the biggest guy. There were people bigger than him. There were people more lean than him. There were people that were professionals. There were people that were older. There were people that were doing other content. But it just swung the opposite way. And for a long time, streaming was largely just desktop streaming. And it was gaming originally. But then it became people doing just chatting / IRL. You had a little bit of IRL.
I'm not gonna lie. Gaming is boring to watch. I don't care what
Aiden
y'all
Ross
say.
really took things
It's
to
so
another
hard
level.
to
So
watch
this started
gaming.
with the Aiden. If it's anything, it's the Aiden Ross.
Especially if
and
you don't
then
watch it
I
for
would
like
say
a long
it
time.
is
Like, how
Kai
can you
Cenat
watch
for
somebody
sure.
game for
But
hours
the
upon
production
end?
started coming in. And
But
I think we're going to
shout out
get
to
to
y'all
a
that
point
can.
very soon. And this is why Bruce Drop Him Off coming back is so important, because he's a guy that came up in his room. And XQC is an example of that too. This guy came up in his room. Granted, XQC
The only
initially
gamers that
because
make
he was
sense to
really,
watch
really,
is like
really
really
good
good
at,
gamers. Like they
video
really
game.
good at the game.
Bruce Drop Him Off, he
Or
was a
really bad.
personality. That
You
was
either
just
got to be
online.
really good or really bad. You
But
can't
him
just be
coming
like
back is like, yo, you can get these
okay at
numbers
the
just
game,
being you
and people gonna
kicking
watch
it
it
with
for
your
a long
community
time.
and being entertaining. And you don't need all of this other stuff. Like a lot of people
But what
say
do I know?
PDG needs girls and he needs to collaborate and he needs to create these storylines. What I think is going to happen, I don't think we've hit this peak yet. It might happen in a year or so. Because
I don't know
think
much
about
about
it.
him. I just
I
know
Show
he beefed with
Speed
DDG.
this year has jumped over 2 cars.
Holy
Like,
crap!
Certain
Yeah, I
events
know.
that have happened this year in streaming are once a year events, or even like once in 5-year events. You're like, yo, that guy jumped over 2 cars. Speed jumped over a car, number one.
Why do you feel like that's like the
biggest
biggest news in the
That was
world?
old news like a week later because he just did some other crazy thing.
I mean,
And that's
yeah.
unsustainable.
But
And I wanna
speed
drag this
jumping
back to
over a
music
car ain't something
because
that people gonna
I think
care
the
about for a
same thing
long time.
happens with music. You need spacing in between drops or in between
People
huge
gonna
events
care
in
about
this
like
scenario.
his
There
China
needs to be
tour
room to
more
breathe,
than
or else you're not going to
that.
appreciate it as
That's
much.
nothing but
Like
a
if-
clip, basically.
If a movie, like a feature film, they were able to release one every single day, you wouldn't appreciate them as much. And like let's say Drake, right? Let's look at Drake's biggest hits. You've got One Dance, God's Plan, Hotline Bling, Passion Fruit, In My Feelings, Nice for What, Sicko Mode, that was with Travis Scott, but let's just throw that in there. Tootsie Slide, Nonstop, that's just, let's just
Are
say
you
those,
saying that
those,
it's
those
just
are 10,
because they
9,
do it
10?
every day, even though
Anyway,
they was doing
there
it
are
every
more
day?
hits than that. But you've got
Does
all
he
those
not
songs.
realize
If
that
those songs released
pretty much
one
every
each
streamer
day,
did
you
this
release one
every
dance
single
Monday,
day
God's
until they
Plan
got
Tuesday.
big?
By
So now
day
they just
5 or
keep
6,
doing it
one of
every
these
single
songs is
day,
getting
even though they
COVID.
big?
I promise you. Because he's dropping too much. Same thing with, now Future is somebody that was dropping a ton and people were appreciating it, but there got
Boo.
to a time around Evol, which is Love Backwards, around there where people were like, yo, you gotta chill, man. It's part of it is not being able to consume as much, but value comes in scarcity too. And Kai Cenat, like, there are people that are criticizing Kai Cenat's Mafiathon, and they're saying, like, man, all he's doing is just begging for subs and like a short segment.
Not
and
really.
They're not being grateful. For this guy brought on he brought on Kim Kardashian.
He's not really
Offset,
begging for subs.
Tyler,
Literally
Ice
every
Spice,
subathon works like
Sway
that.
Lee, Drewski. Did he have Wembenyama?
He did not
on
bring
there?
on
He had
Sway Lee,
Mario,
but okay.
He had Neo. Who else? This guy had the Chainsmokers DJing a set inside his bathroom. This is just what I'm remembering off the top
He said
of my head.
Neo,
I
and
haven't
Neo
been
wasn't on
watching
here.
A lot of these Kashi. He had the Jonas Brothers on there. Kiki Palmer. Hey, who else? Dude,
I'm also talking about.
Wait, this dude just said I mean, yeah, he had a bunch of people on there.
hey, who
But
else?
he did that Mafiathon too as well.
And all of these people, and people still find something to be ungrateful for. And this is the thing. Every guest of this could have been a once in every 3 month thing. And it would have been a huge event. Like, remember when Ninja was streaming with Drake? That was an internet shattering event. It was the first time those two worlds collided with the biggest thing, which was Fortnite. But if you're just throwing celebrity after celebrity after celebrity, then it gets dull. And I think,
well, I don't even think it's that. I think it's because
categorized in something
you do realize Mafiathon 2
anymore,
was in
because,
2024.
like, what's fashionable,
Mafiathon
what's
3
cool,
was in
it's always moving
2025.
in cycles.
The only
So
reason
what
he
I
did
think is going to
Mafiathon
happen
3 is
with
because he
streaming,
lost a bet to
eventually,
speed.
Maybe in a year,
If he
maybe
waited
a
like
year
a
and
couple
half,
years when
someone's
he was
blowing
ready
up
to
right
do
now,
Mafiathon
is
3,
someone that
it
is
would have been
just
more appreciated.
authentic, kind of dull, like not dull. He has to be entertaining, but not entertaining in the way that everyone else is right now. And like one thing I was talking about was this guy Hitch from years ago. He never really properly blew up, but his concept was so dope, which was just a guy that was hitching a ride. Like he wasn't living anywhere, and he was relying on people to pick him up to go across cities and the country. I think he did it across multiple countries. And I always watched that guy's streams. I would have him on. And I was like, man, this is such a cool concept. And he never really blew
He
up.
should have made
But
that
something
a
like
YouTube
that,
video, not a stream.
I
Good
see
Lord.
that becoming the new meta eventually.
I also seen somebody
because
else do this.
The
and I
streamers that
think
are
they
smaller are not going to be
I
able to
think they did
compete
on a YouTube video.
unless they
I also think
clout chase, right?
Mike
Or not
Posner
clout
does
chase.
that now.
It's a little bit of, it's like kind of
It's either
knocking
he
them
does
down
that or he
unless they
walks.
network
One or the
or
other.
get the attention of one of these big guys, because you're going to get priced out of production. And I do think people like DDG are realizing more production is not resulting in a proportional return on investment. So DDG's probably looking at it like, yo, I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on this thing. It didn't blow me up, and it didn't make me that much money. I could have made
You got to look at it from
same
this
amount of
lens.
money, or I could have made
It's on
10%
Twitch.
less money, spending
So,
80% less than
majority
I
of the
spent
world
on
don't
this.
even have Twitch.
So why would I continue to do this? It doesn't make
Will
sense.
it make you good money?
And
Yes.
yeah, I
Does
can see
production
a new
cost a lot?
house blow-
Yes.
Like, for example,
Are you gonna get a
there's
good return
house
from
of
it?
entertaining streamers
Probably not.
that are struggling, right? Like,
Because
these guys
even
are all
something like
trying-
that, I didn't
see
even
a
watch
new
that
crew
because
blowing
it's just
up.
too
I can see
girly.
that happening. Of course, it's difficult to make things like this happen, but it's that authentic wanting to root for the underdog that is what's eventually going to become cool. And it's hard because now this is somewhat of an industry. Like, their clipping is a mandatory thing now, and you have to know how to do it. So either you know how to do it or you have the funds to do it. But if you're trying to grind
Bruh,
as
I
a
don't know
streamer,
why people
you
feel
don't
like
really have the
clipping is
funds
hard.
for it.
It's
And if
too
you
easy.
have the funds,
Clipping
then
is
you're
easy.
probably not streaming and you already have an income source, or maybe you want to stream but you don't have enough time to stream because
Yeah, streaming take too
of
much
the
time.
dedication that you have
Just to
to
get
the income
affiliate, you
source
gotta
that's
stream for
generating the
4
money
hours
that
for
you would
4
spend
days.
on
Like, who got
Clippers.
4
So right
hours to
now,
just
there's kind
sit
of this
there and stream,
monetary
bro?
moat that's being created around the biggest streamers, and it's just going to take time and new. I don't want to say these guys aren't authentic, but new DIY people are going to blow up, because the same thing happened in music. Like, we had 2010s, right? You had early 2010s especially, that was like peak pop rap too. You had so much money being spent. Like, you had Lasers, right? Atlantic making Lupe Fiasco make a Lasers album. It's like,
Well,
that's
that's
how you
kind of
know
crazy to say though,
these
because you got to
guys
consider, like,
they were on
he's
it. They were like,
saying
yeah,
that,
this is what's
but
gonna hit.
look who's blowing.
And you had people
Everybody
like
that
Tiny Tempa, you
Kai
had
touches is
you had
pretty
Jason
much gonna blow up.
Derulo, you had
That's just the realistic
Tayo
lenses of
Cruz,
this.
all of this stuff.
If
and
you come
into
in contact with Kai,
2015,
you probably just blow
and
up.
then 2016, 17, you start getting this underground that really
Maybe
bubbles
even
up. And it was
if
starting
you
off
start
from
streaming
A$AP
with
Rocky
DDG, you
era,
blow up, because India Love
but it
blew
really
up.
starts to take off. And then you've got people like X and Ski dropping songs that sounded terrible. They're not polished. They're not pop. They were recorded on garbage mics.
made a lot of good
People
songs.
loved it, and people loved that energy, and they loved those people. And No Jumper was built off of the back of something like that. And I see that happening again in streaming. It's not going to continue like this. Yeah, there will be the biggest channels that are kind of like TV, and there's production.
I think
but the audiences will move. And I can almost guarantee that happening.
I don't
and
think
that's
so.
what I think Fanum is saying, is that so much is going on that it just feels like another TV channel. Okay, this
just
guy's
feel like
doing
everybody
this guy's
just-
doing this show, and it's not
Yeah.
like when
I mean,
Constantine was doing
when
the
you do
first
the
Mafia-thon or the
DDG
second one, it was
ball
like,
thing,
whoa,
and
this
then
is
you
the
Black
only
Boy
guy that's
Mazda,
doing
it's just
something
like
this.
love show
and then
thing. It
everyone
becomes
steps
just
up their
two love
game,
shows.
and you constantly got to be pivoting.
Speed
and
is doing something
new
completely
things,
different.
Which I think
He
Kai
doing a
is
tour,
doing,
but that is his like
but
main thing.
maybe the third one, and it makes sense why he said
Mafia-thon
the third
3.
one would be the last one, because he knew when to cut
I mean,
it. But
you don't need
I think
3 of
that's
them.
enough
I mean, you
on
don't need
this
4 of them.
topic. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you
I don't
enjoyed.
know. I said exactly
and I'm gonna see
what I
y'all on the
think.
next one.
I think streaming will stay pretty much the same.
Circle
I think
K's
it'll
new
blow
free
up
Inner
more
Circle
now that
membership
like
program makes filling.
now that like celebrities doing it. Ice Spice just started a stream. Lotto streamed before. Ray J streams now. Soulja Boy streams now. I think it'll be a lot harder for like just a regular nobody to get popping on unless like you meet a celebrity or something, or unless you got a lot of money to put into it. But I think it'll stay pretty popular, especially considering the fact that like celebrities doing it. That's what's gonna make it like more popular. I just don't see it declining, because it just seems like it's increasing. More adults are watching now. It just seems like it's increasing. So I don't know.